The Blair Witch Project is a movie released in 1999 starring Heather Donahue, Michael C. Williams, and Joshua Leonard, and written and directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. Now, firstly, this movie was really ahead of its time. It was the first time that the idea of a found footage movie had been brought into the mainstream, and the marketing on this movie was just absolutely insane. The studio had basically lent into the idea that these actors really were missing and had in fact disappeared, to the point where I think even the friends of the female character's mum or parents were given flowers, sort of giving their condolences for her being missing. It pretty messed up, but it worked. The story revolves around three amateur filmmakers. You got Heather, Mike, and Josh, who have all set out to basically make a documentary about the Blair Witch, a legend in a certain area of America. And what it begins is just them going around and asking the local people, local residents, about what they know about the legend of the Blair Witch. All of it is filmed on their two cameras, and you do see a difference in them, with one being in black and white and one being in colour, and you do get the sense of it being very amateur, with the close-ups being way too close up and almost comical in a way that the sort of people's faces just take up the entire frame. And as it goes on, what we are pulled into is the mystery as to what happened to these people, because the opening sort of message at the beginning of the movie is the fact that these three filmmakers disappeared. They've gone missing and never been recovered. So the whole time we're wondering what has happened to them, and that's where the mystery element comes into this movie. You have these three investigating whether or not the legend or the myth of the Blair Witch is real, and if it isn't, where did it originate from? But also, from our point of view, what happened to these people? And it's quite a nice combination to work with, really. That is until the novelty of it being filmed solely through a video camera does start to wear off. The thing with these found footage movies that I find is that really you need to have a question as to why are the characters filming everything? And if you can't come up with a decent reason why, just don't do it, because it doesn't make sense if you just force it in there. And that's exactly what this movie does. You get the explanation, the fact they're filming a documentary, and Heather does have an explanation, the fact that she wants to document every little piece of it to commemorate the fact they went out and filmed this documentary. Yeah, fine. So why not film everything? Because there's a lot of gaps in between the filming, but strangely enough, we do get the camera switch on in time for an argument. So everything like that is captured, the good times and the bad, but nothing in between. And it's, again, why... I mean, it's addressed by several characters in the film as well, as to why are you still filming? And it's a question that isn't really answered. And the documentary style of it does feed quite nicely into the film at the beginning, where you have the exposition about the Blair Witch legend told through anecdotes from local residents. And it also feeds into the mystery element, because some residents sort of tell a story about people who have gone missing and ended up killed or dead. Other people tell a story about people who have gone missing and turn up safe and well a few months later. So you still don't really know what's happened to these people. And it does sort of hang in the balance as to whether or not the legend is true or not. It is a really nice touch as to where that's where the exposition comes out of, because it is, in keeping with that documentary vibe that this film is trying to go for in the very first place. And the ending of this is really good as well, because it does answer the question as to whether or not this is a myth, this is real, what really happened to these guys out in the woods. It solves all of those, or it answers all of those questions, and it does so leaving it on a nice little cliffhanger as well, because it doesn't show you fully what happened to them, so it causes you to imagine what possibly did happen to them and who done it. But the fate is revealed, and it is quite a nice little ending to it all. Having said that, I do have some major issues with this movie. The first one being, like I said before, why film certain parts? Why have certain parts always captured? What is the reasoning for them constantly filming everything? Because it's not really explained in the film. On top of that, there is an argument that comes about when things start to go wrong in the group, where the argument is made by Josh to Heather, saying, "Oh, you're still filming, why are you still filming?" And to the point where she breaks down and cries. The very next scene, Josh is filming everybody. So what is the point? What is the point in that argument? I don't know. The other major thing, and it bugs me every single time I watch this, and it's bugged a lot of people since it's been released, is the fact of there's a pivotal point in this movie where they get lost, where they don't have the map anymore, can't find their way out, and just going around in circles. And it's all because Mike, who was the main complainer about being lost in the first place, decides to kick the map into the river off camera and reveals that to the group. Why? Why? I mean, if you wanted to cause a conflict because people were lost, you already had done that. You'd done it the fact that Heather or no, neither Heather or Josh could read the map properly. So you had it already. Why did you have to have a character do something completely stupid and completely against sort of his fears and concerns at the throughout the whole argument as well? Again, it doesn't make sense, and it's just a plot point that's just forced into it to keep them there. Overall, I did struggle with this movie. It's one, it does take a really long time to get going, and even then it doesn't really keep you hooked. It doesn't keep you on the edge of your seat waiting to find out what the next thing is. You just want to skip to the end and find out the answer to the question. This, I mean, the best way I can describe this is it is a movie with horror moments in it. It's not a horror film. There are very few moments in it that are designed to scare people, scare the audience. The rest of it is just a story of three people lost in the woods, arguing with each other and trying to find their way out. That is the story. So more of a thriller, I would say. And I mean, to be honest, I think this movie is just a product of its time. The novelty of it being found footage way back then in 1999 probably was a really good thing to latch onto. Something new, something original, something no one had really seen before outside of the mainstream horror genre. And yeah, I think it has props for bringing it there. But now it's just a saturated market to the point, and whilst this did pioneer it, it doesn't really hold up anymore. So for those reasons, for me, it's a 2-star review. So that's my review of the Blair Witch Project. Have you guys seen it? What did you guys think about it? Whatever you guys thought, please pop it in the comment section below. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. I will be back with another one shortly, but until then, you guys take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one.